Hey, what is up guys? We're going to be doing another budget deck profile for counter fairies. This is an alternate variant to it. Maybe you guys already seen in the thumbnail already that we are playing a completely different card. Now, I won't have to mention these cards again since I've already gone through them in both the structure deck opening video plus the first deck profile. So, without further ado, let's just get started. So we're still playing the 2 Air Knight Parshaft, the big boss here, because I still think it's a great card specifically for this. Again, we're still sticking to the rule that we're using just cards from the structure deck and nothing outside, so you won't see Solemn Strikes or anything. A new addition to the deck we are playing is 2 Eva. So Eva is a really underrated card. I haven't seen a single counter fairy deck that actually uses this card at all, and yet it's the main ultra rare alongside the Air Knight Parshaft. But essentially it helps you search for specific cards when it's destroyed by, or rather if it's just sent to the graveyard. So we'll come back to that later. We are only playing 2 Minerva, we're not playing as much of it, but it's still a necessary card to play. As a staple, we are still playing 3 Bountiful Artemis. It's a counter fairy deck, it's the original one, so why not? 2 Guiding Ariadne, dropped it to 2, but still a great card to lose the cost for our counter traps. 2 Valkyria, still the same as our first deck profile. 2 Meltiel, still think it's a great card. And of course, we are still playing the 1 Harvest as well as the 1 Layard. However, our new additions to the deck would be the 2 Herald of Orange Light as well as the 2 Herald of Green Light. So basically we can negate monster effects and spell effects, and we have Eva here. So what these guys do is that they're hand traps, and the deck in general usually has a problem going second because it's a counter trap deck, it's a trap deck. So you have to set up your board first, meaning winning the dice roll is a big deal and you have to go first. But if we go second, what are we going to do if our opponent sets up this crazy board that we can't deal with? This is basically the situation here. We have Herald of Orange Light and Green Light here, which we can negate our opponent's stuff. They act as hand traps. Yes, you have to discard stuff. These guys are fodder. And if we discard the Eva as well, we can add more hand traps to the hand. So this is why these guys are really good. I'm not playing Purple Light because, well, you know, Purple Light negates traps, and who really plays traps aside from counter fairies? But they use spell speed 3. They play counter traps, so it's really fast. You can't negate it with a hand trap. So yeah, basically this is how we're playing the deck now. It completely changes things up. We're still playing the 2 Honest because I still think Honest is an amazing card. Alright, so for spells, we are still playing 3 Sanctum of Parshaft, still a staple pretty much, and 2 Sanctuary in the Sky. Considering it's still the budget restricted to just the structure decks, we are still pretty much playing the same thing. One small difference is we dropped Ties of the Brethren down to 2 instead of 3, simply because we also dropped a few of the level 4 fairies in our deck, which means with that we have less of an opportunity to make use of Ties of the Brethren. As a result, I decided to play 2 since we're actually playing hand traps now. Moving on to traps, we are playing 1 Rebirth. I decided to drop this down because the whole purpose now isn't specifically to go for the boss monster. It's a little more controlled now since we still have hand traps. And like I said, this is catered more towards you going second. That way you can at least stop your opponent when they go first. It caters towards the big weakness with this particular deck. We are still playing 3 Ultimate Providence, an amazing card. 2 Divine Punishment, simply because, again, we have hand traps now. We can negate stuff. So Divine Punishment to 2 isn't going to hurt the deck at all. We're playing 2 Drastic Drop Off because, again, still a great card. 1 Solemn because, well, we still have to play it, of course, still a great card. And Recall, which is, well, I dropped it down to 1 simply because I don't like the idea of giving our opponent a free card and having hand traps as a replacement engine to lower the amount of cards that, I don't know, could give your opponent the advantage would definitely be a better thing for the deck here. So yeah, this is pretty much it for the whole deck profile. We're focusing more on the hand traps and the fact that we want to operate on a going second kind of deal here. And it also, even though you guys saw only slight changes compared to the first deck profile, I feel like this makes a significant difference to the deck, and it does work around the deck's weaknesses. Unfortunately, you can't make too many of a big setups since you sacrifice certain pieces that you usually would play. As a result, your consistency might not be as good as the first deck, and you will notice this even though there are really small changes to this deck profile. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this deck. Really quick video here, and I'll be making a competitive version soon, so hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.